Men admire women. Women admire women. Homosexual men admire women. Homosexual women admire women. The admiration for women transcends all boundaries. Through time, there is more female sculptures and paintings of women than of men. This universal appreciation is captured in Ice Age European sculpture, where artists immortalize the grace, strength, and the beauty of women. 400 centuries of art. Only 2 statues of men have been found across the entire continent of Europe. I spoke about them in the previous episode, Where Are the Men? Also, I already talked why I don't say statues of Venuses, but women statues in previous episodes. It was Victorians who named it such, because of their oppressed sexuality. The links of these 2 episodes are in this episode description. Feel free to check them out. In 1936 and in 1952, 2 statues of a head were found at Dolny Veštonice. The statues are made from ivory 23,000 years ago, and they belong to Gravettians. One statue is very simplified, with opening for eyes, a bump for a nose, an opening for a mouth. The second one is a masterpiece of early carving. Though only 48 millimeters in height, this shows a fine structure and thoughtful expression. The long nose has a bump at the tip. The only odd feature is the crooked line in the brow, which affects the entire left side of the face. The statue appears to have a smile or a grin. Or maybe it was a natural deformation like this that could have been caused by injury to the nerve of the left cheek. However, in 1949, at Dolny Veštonice, a woman's skeleton was found. Her skull has a defect on the left side. Was it a portrait of the same woman? We don't know, but most likely it is. This woman was 161 centimeters tall. She has been given elaborate burial inside of one of the huts. Body and the head were covered with red ochre and protected by 2 shoulder blades of mammoth, of one of which had lines on its surface. In the grave, the woman was placed with the stone tools, the paws and the tail of Arctic fox, and the teeth facing west. Great spiritual or intellectual power must have belonged to this woman. She was singled out for such a careful burial. Who was she? Shaman, medicine woman, a leader of a tribe. We only can speculate. In Brassempuis in France, the best preserved statue of a female was found. The head was made from ivory. It's 22,000 years old and belonged to the Gravettians. It's one of the rare heads of which the features are shown. This statue was found in 1894. This is a young woman, because her face is smooth and she looks directly outwards. The perfect oval of the head has been distributed only just enough to define brows and nose. The rest is left in its geometric purity. She has a nice line of a neck and a chin. It is possible that the face was once colored, like that of a Willendorf woman. Some researchers suggest that this woman is unfinished. When researchers say it's unfinished, they don't understand the artistic processes. Maybe artists deliberately left them like that, because sometimes artwork speaks to the artist and says that's enough. Every piece of artwork can be worked on more and more and more. So when they say unfinished, maybe artists left it like that. Maybe artists forget to come back and do the statues again. We don't know. But my point is, the word unfinished is very elusive and very weird to say. Maybe it's a choice of an artist, is what I'm trying to say. The head is 3.6 centimeter high, 2.2 centimeters deep, and 1.9 centimeters wide. The mouth is absent. On the head, it's a checkboard-like pattern formed by 2 series of shallow insertions at the right angles to each other. Some people say it's a wig, some say it's a hood with a geometric decoration, but I honestly think it's some kind of a braids or dreadlocks. These Ice Age statues, across the whole continent of Europe, they're so removed from our aesthetics and meaning and what they could represent that we can only speculate and imagine the real meaning behind these artworks. This concludes this episode. I want to thank you for joining and listening. I hope I inspired you. I hope you learned something.